Today's title is Identity, I want to talk about, in a true parent's world. But following him, Reverend Dunkley, our president and the continental leader, and this inspiration came to me. And I wanted to explore the word identity. And that's why I want to talk today. Last week, as you saw, Spiceland National Youth Campus was opened. Is there anyone watch that? Oh, you guys in a Sunday service, right? Okay. All right, so afterwards, we maybe saw the video. But this is the 78 acres land. Right. And this is a national campus, right? After we sold the UTS campus a few years ago, we didn't have a campus like this. And I'm grateful that now national campus in the Midwest. It's 4 hours driving from here. Comparing to a UTS, 11 hours, 12 hours, so much better for us. And and the Reverend Dunkley was there, and I have a national service. So he spoke on the service. It's in the part of the national tour of Higher Ground. A couple of weeks ago, he was here, right? And everybody enjoyed? Oh, only a few people. Everybody enjoy? Right? Let's give a big hand to Reverend Dunkley. But Indiana was 17th stop for him. And for Midwest, that was seventh state. In other words, I've been following him everywhere he goes in the Midwest. And I was so blessed, I feel. I really blessed to stay with him, listen to him, talk to him. And then I realized that one message he delivering every Sunday. You know that? That's his t-shirts telling us, remember who you are. Even he made promotional t-shirts. I want to buy that, but I couldn't get it in time. I want to wear that, I'm so tired of necktie and also this style. I should be a little bit more modern. I don't know modern or not, but I want to be a little bit new. But remember who you are. And he preaching this message every Sunday in a different location, in a different aspect. I'm so amazed that in the one theme, he can preach so many ways. Right. So that's make me feel like, I want to explore this theme in true parents' world. So last several days, I've been kind of explore the word of true parents about identity. So before going that, I want to begin with the scripture, the Bible. We are called children of God. We are called children of God. This is very important sentence because defining us and defining God, actually. This is new to a New Testament age, right? Old Testament age, it's not children of God. He is a creator and Lord, but it's more likely, it's a Lord other than parents. Jesus is the one who called God as Abba, right? Father. And this identity is new to us, actually. And let's dive into the true parents' word and words on identity. True Mother said, you must know clearly who you are. You are the children whom heavenly parents have longed for. So we are desired children. Heavenly parents have been waiting for 6,000 years. And True Father said, your value comes from the fact that you are born as God's sons and daughters. Our value also comes from there. And true parents restore the identity. Father said, oh, by the way, I need to mention about father and mother, right? We call Reverend Dr. Samyang Moon and Dr. Hakja Han. They are the founder of this church, founder of global movement, right? They guide the humanity to understand and also deepen their relationship with God and Jesus. And also they help us creating the one global family under God, which is God's dream, based on the family ideal. So that's the true parents. And we call them affectionately true parents. So I'm going to just now say true father and true mother. It's all right? And the father said, true parents came to give you a true name, true lineage, and true identity. And the mother said, through true parents, you are reborn into heavenly parents' lineage. Now, it's identity determine a mission. The father said, you must know who you are before you can know what you must do. You maybe wonder what you must do. But before realizing that, you must know who you are. That's the starting point. And the mother said, heaven needs you. You are the protagonist of this age. You are the main characters, hero and heroines of the drama in this age. Right? You feel better? You feel so? But if you understand you are children of God, then naturally you can sense that you are the protagonist of this age. And heaven activates heaven's power. And mother said, when you stand in your true identity, heaven can work through you. So activate heaven's power by understanding who you are. And father said, heaven has waited thousands of years for you. In other words, if we don't realize who we are, heaven's power is not activated yet. Do you see? You may wonder your potential. But first, here we are talking about need to realize who we are. And then you can activate heaven's power. Now, as a benefit, identity gives dignity. You must live with the dignity of God's sons and daughters. Once you understand you are children of God, you live accordingly. And true mother said, as a children of heavenly parents, live with confidence and pride. Once you understand who you are, no longer you waive who you are, and you can live with a clear confidence and pride and a purpose. So that's the true parents' word. I just pick several of the long text. However, now you know who you are in God's eye, and let's understand identity through a simple metaphor. I want to use the metaphor to understand true parents' word, which none other than lighthouse. Everybody knows lighthouse, right? Okay, lighthouse knows where it stands and why it exists, where to shine its light. Identity works the same way. So, lighthouse knows their position. Right? Lighthouse must know its location to guide ships safely. Therefore, we must know where God places us in our family, community, mission field. Right? So Father said, we must know where you stand in God's providence. Identity begins with position. Without locating yourself, you cannot function, right? First of all, we need to know our position. And the lighthouse knowing your purpose. Lighthouse exists to shine lights into darkness and protect others. So we exist to reflect Heavenly Parents' love. We are created as a resemblance of God, Heavenly Parent, right? And we are meant to guide others as well. We not just live for our life, but we are meant to guide others as well, help others, practice living for the sake of others. And we bring the hope. So identity is the purpose clarity. The lighthouse knowing where to shine. The lighthouse shines outward, not toward itself, right? It's identity teaches us who needs our rights and where to direct our love and how to serve. So it's clear that we are just like first starting with where we are located and what's our purpose, and also where we can shine. And never forget what you are. If the lighthouse forgets it's a lighthouse, ship's crashed, right? So if we forget we are God's children, our light dims. We may be supposed to understand who we are, therefore we behave and relate to the world as who we are. But if we don't know who we are, we cannot function or live properly. That's the case of this world. People are confused, and the world is really messed up. So identity equals mission awareness. So here is one testimony. The day before last opening ceremony in the national campus, he have a Q&A session in the Indianapolis Family Church, Q&A session. And here's a testimony from the participants. This is the young adult female in Indianapolis. Our belief, understanding, even our faith can change and waver. But our identity is something that will not change. Go back to our roots. And the elder male said that I am coming into a deeper realization of what my identity is and how I can offer it to heaven. So he understands. He realized who he is, and then he feels empowered. And he understands, he realized how he can offer it to heaven. So that's a deep testimony, actually. So why identity matters? That's a question, isn't it? Why identity matters? Identity matters, the world is because confused. People define identity by career, right? I'm not saying this is bad. This identity can be many ways to identify yourself, right? You belong to some company or school. That's also one of your identity. And emotions and politics. Well, in America, there is a two-party, right? And arguing and criticizing to each other. I'm not saying that you are saying the Republican or Democrat. It's not bad. But it's actually deeper level of identity needed. Otherwise, you're gonna argue forever and wants to destroy others. You want to win the debates, right? But there is a deeper identity needed. And achievements, also, you achieved something in the past. academically or something you may be proud of. But that's not stand forever, right? Like, if you are, for instance, a president or a pastor or whatever, the team leader or something, but it's not last forever. If your identity depends on that kind of position or achievement, and you maybe lose it someday. It's not stable. Social media. Well, is there any influencer here? Wants to be an influencer? If you be proud of your followers, number of followers, or number of clicks, likes of click, and then you may lose it someday. Well, if you involve in some crime, for instance, and you lose some credibility, or you shut down, and you may lose it if you stand on that. I'm not saying that this identity is not bad. Identity, there's many ways of identity, horizontal. You can describe who you are through your church member or student of the school, or you achieve this, or you are the influencer. I have followers of 1 million people. You can say that. Yeah, we wish to be that. But it's not stay. It's not fundamental identity we're looking for. So, unclear. These identities are unclear and confused about origin and purpose and direction. So true parents say identity it's basically 3 pillars. Lineage, it's origin, our origin, and a purpose, and direction, means mission. And among the 3 pillars, most fundamental one is origin. When you know your origin, your purpose becomes clear. And also, Japan said that identity is providential. Providential. Because it comes from Heavenly Parents' original design. Original design. And also, which is identity, was also restored through true parents and determine your mission in God's providence. So I want to dive in deeper about the 3 pillars. Origin, whose child am I? And the purpose, why am I here? And direction, where am I going? So you may be wonder, whose child am I? And where am I here? And where am I going? This is the typical questions, not only young people, but elders. All people wonder about this. Is there anyone never thought about this question? So no one raised a hand, or maybe people are shy. I mean, everybody have a question once or twice or all the time talking about this. The finding who we are, building our identity based on Heavenly Parents, help to answer these questions, in other words. So origin, whose child am I? We are God's sons and daughters. So identity begins with, actually, lineage. We are born into this world, but, look at this baby, whose parents he maybe wonder, right? If you clear who parents, unless we know who's the parents, whose mother, whose father, this child may suffer instability, insecure feeling. But once he knows who is father and mother, your existence, your confidence, your pride is there, especially based on if its parent is God and the heavenly parent. And the purpose, why am I here? We are born to resemble heavenly parents and build true families and heal the world, advance 천일국, which is God's kingdom. So we are created in resemblance of our God, the Creator. If you remember the church motto, do you remember? We are created in resemblance to our heavenly parents, the Creator, right? So, but we need to develop our inner quality to resemble Him. The fact that we are born from heavenly parent, God, but we need to work ourselves. Our internal growth is needed. That's why growth period is provided to each of us, right? And we are meant to resemble heavenly parents and reflect His love and build true families, right? And heal the world and advance God's kingdom. So direction, where am I going? True parents give us a compass and a world view and a providential map. So my experience, I was joined the church at the age of 19, and I clearly remembered my feeling after 7-day workshop. I was walking down the campus. I was a student. Then I come to realize that this world is really different. Different from what I experienced, what I thought. It is much more hopeful world, and there's a huge potentials there. I didn't really, let's say, understood what lecturer said in the 7 days, but feeling came to me that brought me a tremendous hope, and somehow I proud myself walking across the campus with pride somehow. I didn't do anything yet that time, but that feeling was so memorable. So true parents give us the compass and the compass for life and the world view and the providential map. So identity bring us the clarity on these things. So identity shapes everything. Because if you have clear identity, it's different how we see God and how we see ourselves and how we treat others and how we live our life. So identity is a starting point of our life of faith. Actually, not necessarily life of faith, our life actually. Reverend Dunkley came back to America how many years ago? 4 years ago? 4 years ago? 3 years ago? 4 years ago, right? He came, and what he did was teaching us first who true parents are through a reverse workshop. Think about it, those who attend the workshop. He was spent almost a year. He didn't talk about church growth or anything, but he preached about who true parents are, which was for many of us a challenge because new perspective was brought in. But that is very important to understand who true parents are. And then, now what? Next stage we are. He's teaching us who we are. So we are on the second stage. So every Sunday he preached on this. because this is very critical time. And our situation, especially America, is very safe environment we are in, very stable foundation we are in. But once you went out of America, especially two nations, key nations, Korea and Japan, your identity will be shaken to the core. I experienced that a couple of years ago once Japanese persecution started after the assassination of former Prime Minister Abe. A lot of persecution, lots of news. I was not in Japan, but just listening to the Japanese news was depressing. Korean members and Japanese members, especially Japanese members, now they say they shut down the Japanese church. Right? Imagine you are the part of that. America is very safe place and protected. But it doesn't mean that we don't need to do anything. And it doesn't mean that we don't need to prepare. That kind of situation forced us to prepare. Situation taught us we need to go back from the fundamental point of view, which is identity, who we are. Without knowing who we are, you can live a life actually. Right? If you look at children, I don't think they deeply understand who he is or her, who they are. Right? But once you've grown up, you have more questions about it. Once make a life decision, you need to know who you are. We are in a stage of that. We are adolescents. We are graduating adolescents. We become adults. We need to be adults now, each of us. Right? Therefore, it is very, very fortunate for us. Reverend Dunkley is trying to educate us, enlighten us about our identity, who we are. This is the deep message, deep contents. So this is need to takes time. It's not just Sunday, 30 minutes or so to think about. We have to think deeply every day, every moment. So identity through grace. You remember 1 month ago I gave a testimony, Sunday message based on grace. Hopefully you remember. Why do we need true parents? Because they fulfill these 5 needs, right? True parents guided humanity, or guiding humanity and guiding us. And especially, we are restored. Our lineage is restored, and our actually conscience is reactivated, and our identity is also restored. And we are adopted as children of God. If you are born into the movement, you are lucky. You are already adopted from the beginning. Right? But for the elders who join the church themselves, we have to work out to be adopted. And we are connected because of true parents. Right? We so many different races here, and some of you or many of you born into foreign countries, but we come here as a family. We gather as a family. We are connected. Therefore, our identity also, it's a global. It's not just a small church member identity, but we are global citizen. Remember, True Father, his autobiography's title, right? He is a global citizen. Therefore, we also be a global citizen. We are connected. And we enlisted to build God's kingdom. Our works, our what you do is not just for your sake. Your work is for connected to build the ideal world, one family under God, and realizing God's dream. So we are so much receive a grace through our two parents. Now, this is conclusion. But remember, you are the fruit of 6,000 years of God's longing. It is not just you are instantly born, but you are fruit of 6,000 years. Therefore, your identity carries dignity and history as well. We are historical being, each of you. And your value does not come from the world, but it comes from God. It is different from psychologists talking about identity. That is more likely a process of, process of integration, in a sense. Try to find who they are, who we are. But true parents brought, it's not come from ourselves, but it's come from God, actually. That is the different identity two parents are talking about. It's much more deeper, giving a deeper sense of integration, self-integration, and the inner stability, because it comes from absolute creator, parents, heavenly parents. So remember, you are sons and daughters of God with divine purpose. Divine purpose. If you are new to here, two parents offer you a new beginning, a new identity, a new family, new life. You can begin. It's not just joining this church means you are part of some congregation. You experience the transformation of your life and yourself, your identity. So this is a very new beginning for you. Call to action. Stand in your identity. Live as God's sons and daughters with dignity. So, and practice identity daily, morning and evening prayers. So this is a practical homework. Say, Heavenly Parents, I'm your child. In the morning and in the evening. We need to, you can chant if you want. I'm a God child, I'm a God child, I'm a God child. That works. Just like some people chant, thank you, thank you, thank you. We need a certain period, repetition, and training itself. And treat others as God's children. And don't forget, treat yourself as God's child, but also treat others as God's children. And make decisions from identity, and not from insecurity. Many decisions made because you are insecure. But just stop before making a decision. Think from your identity, make a decision. I don't know what occasion waiting for you this week, but when you make a decision, please think about who you are and decide accordingly. So this week, let's try to understand, deepen our understanding about yourself, who you are, who I am, and practice accordingly. Is it all right? Okay. Okay, that's all. Today is a short sermon, but please join me in prayer. Dear most beloved Heavenly Parents and true parents, thank you so much. We are so blessed to be here, Heavenly Parents, first of all. On the Sunday morning, we gather together And we explore today about the identity, who we are. We face many crises, but internal crisis, identity crisis, is one of the things that young people are facing. But we know that without understanding deeply, identity deeply connected to, rooted in our Heavenly Parents and God, we are insecure, Heavenly Parents. However, we once understand who we are, we can see clearly this world and clearly who I am and what purpose you created us and how we should live. All the answers will be provided. Heavenly Parents, thank you so much, Reverend Dunkley, in touring around this nation. And also we are so grateful that true parents that teach us and discover us ourselves deeply and rooted in our Heavenly Parents. Thank you so much. We can make our life better. We can have a better life based on our realization of who we are. Thank you for everything you give to us. And I wish that we can empower ourselves through this and we can serve this world in a better way. Heavenly Parents, thank you so much once again. I offer this prayer with gratitude in my name, Kazuo Takami, Blessed Central Family, attending Holy Mother Han. Aju. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you.